Very good afternoon, friends. I am CA Anuj Goel, Chairman of the Research Committee of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and the Central Council member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Before we start with the program, I will request all of you to observe 2 minutes silence and will pray for the peace of the departed souls in this time of pandemic corona. Lot number of chartered accountants and their family members are not with us. So we'll observe 2 minutes silence, we'll pray, and then we'll start the formal program.
ॐ पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति।
Very good afternoon, viewers of today's VCM being hosted by Ratlam branch and Ujjain branch of CIC of ICI and organized by the research committee, the one of the technical committee and oldest committee of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India on a very pertinent topic, future of research in accounting and finance. So dear viewers, we have the presence of CA Dr. Bapat with us, who is an academician, and I think it is fortunate. We all are fortunate enough that we will be listening from a person who is from our own fraternity and having vast experience in the field of academics, and he will be deliberating on the future of accounting and finance. We have the presence of very visionary personality, CA Anuj Goel ji, the Chairman Research Committee. We have the office bearers of both the branches, Ratlam branch and Ujjain branch. So a galaxy of panelists is there to guide all of us to receive suggestions. So I would not be in between you and the learned speaker. So straightforwardly, I would request CA Arpit Jain ji, Chairman Ujjain branch of CIC of ICI, to offer his address.
Thank you, Amit ji. First of all, very good afternoon to all of you. Respected Anuj Goel ji, Central Council member, Chairman, Research Committee of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Respected Dipendra Chopra ji, Chairman Ratlam branch. Respected today's session speaker, CA Dr. Bapat ji, all the managing committee members of Ujjain and Ratlam branch, all the senior members and my dear fellow members. Today we have a very useful topic of today's session, future of research in accounting and finance. First of all, I give my sincere gratitude to Anuj Goel sir for giving us an opportunity to host this program. And I don't think so I take much time of all of us. We have a wonderful speaker, CA Bapat sir. So I request Amit ji, please continue this program. Thank you.
Chairman sir. Now I request CA Dipendra Chopra ji, Chairman Ratlam branch of CIC of ICI, for his address, please. Over to Dipendra Chopra sir.
Thank you, Amit ji. First of all, good afternoon and namaskar सभी को. रिसर्च कमेटी ICI के द्वारा ऑर्गेनाइज्ड और उज्जैन और रतलाम सेंट्रल काउंसिल के उज्जैन और रतलाम ब्रांच के द्वारा आयोजित इस वेबिनार में मैं सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत और अभिनंदन करता हूं। आज हमारे साथ इस वेबिनार में सेंट्रल काउंसिल मेंबर और रिसर्च कमेटी के चेयरमैन श्री अनुज जी गोयल सर, सेंट्रल काउंसिल मेंबर और रिसर्च कमेटी के वाइस चेयरमैन श्री प्रमोद जी गुप्त सर जो भी जुड़ेंगे हमारे साथ। आज के टॉपिक पर स्पीकर आदरणीय बापट सर, कार्यक्रम को होस्ट कर रहे हैं आज के मॉडरेटर माननीय श्री अमित जी अग्रवाल, उज्जैन ब्रांच चेयरमैन श्री अर्पित जी जैन और उनकी पूरी मैनेजिंग कमेटी, और पूरे देश से अक्रॉस द कंट्री इस वेबिनार में सम्मिलित सारे सी मेंबर्स का मैं रतलाम ब्रांच और ब्रांच मैनेजिंग कमेटी की ओर से अभिवादन करते हुए हार्दिक स्वागत और अभिनंदन करता हूँ। इस प्रकार के प्लेटफॉर्म और VCM निश्चित जहां हम लोगों को छोटी ब्रांचों को, स्मॉल ब्रांचों को ICI के साथ मिलकर इस प्रकार के प्रोग्राम आयोजित करने का मौका मिलता है, वहीं एक साथ दो काउंसिल मेंबर्स के साथ रूबरू होने का मौका मिलता है और वापट सर जैसे एक फैकल्टी को सुनने का अवसर मिलता है। आज का टॉपिक जो है वापट सर का फ्यूचर ऑन रिसर्च इन अकाउंट्स एंड फाइनेंस निश्चित हम लोगों के लिए कुछ अपडेट्स और कुछ नई अपॉर्चुनिटीज क्रिएट करेगा। एक बार फिर आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत और अभिनंदन। वेरी वार्म वेलकम्स। थैंक्स अ लॉट। थैंक यू। थैंक्स अमित जी। ओवर टू अमित जी।
Thank you, Dipendra ji, for your warm welcome words. And now I request CA Ankit ji, Vice Chairman, Ratlam Branch of CIC of ICI, to kindly give a brief intro of our learned speaker, CA Dr. Vardraj Bapat sir.
थैंक यू अमित जी। आज मुझे ये अवसर मिला है कि मैं श्री वरदराज जी बापट का इंट्रोडक्शन करूं। सर, मेरे लिए बहुत गर्व और सम्मान की बात है सर कि आप जैसे डिग्निटी का इंट्रोडक्शन करने का मुझे मौका मिला है। आप बापट सर ने ऑल इंडिया रैंक के साथ अपना CA चार्टर्ड अकाउंटिंग कोर्स की डिग्री प्राप्त करी सर ने। उसके बाद सर ने CWA एवं डीसा कंप्लीट करा। उसके बाद आपने IIT मुंबई से डॉक्टर मानद की उपाधि प्राप्त करी है। आपका टीचिंग और कोचिंग कंसल्टेंसी का अनुभव 25 वर्षों से भी अधिक का है सर। आपके कई रिसर्च पेपर इंटरनेशनल जर्नल्स में प्रकाशित हुए हैं एवं उनका काफी अधिक प्रभाव भी पड़ा है। आपने कई रिसर्च प्रोग्राम्स को कंप्लीट करा है सर, एवं आपकी 6 से 6 बुक्स अच्छे और रेपुटेड पब्लिशर द्वारा प्रकाशित की गई है सर। एक बार पुनः आपका बहुत स्वागत है सर, और हम सभी आपको यहाँ बीच में पाकर बहुत गौरवान्वित महसूस कर रहे हैं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। ओवर टू अमित जी। थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you, Ankit ji, for giving a brief intro of our learned speaker. There is a lot of things to discuss about him. We can take half an hour. He's a very learned personality, and moreover that he's from our own fraternity. He's a chartered accountant, and he did his PhD from IIT Bombay. So that shows his interest in the academics. So we have around 4,500 members across the globe, and for their interest, I repeated this brief intro because for their ready reference, some of our members do not understand Hindi. For their reference, I repeated this. So with these words, now I request Ruchin Agrawal ji, Vice Chairman, Ujjain Branch of CRC of ICI, to kindly give a brief intro of C. Anuj Goyal ji.
Hello everyone, greetings for the day. I am really honored to be here today with all the dignitary members of CA Council. It's always enlightening to meet the happy faces and share our ideas irrespective of all the odds. We have amazing people with us today. I would like to introduce Shri Anuj Ji Goyal. Shri Anuj Ji Goyal is the Central Council member of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. With his 14 years in council, 3 years in regional council, 6 years in branch, he contributed immensely in various capacities. Presently, he is chairman of Research Committee, the oldest committee of ICI, and Capital Markets and Investors Protection Committee of ICI. He is also vice chairman of Corporate Laws and Corporate Governance Committee. With exemplary academics, he possesses CA, CS, ICWA, LLB, MCOM, DISA, and DIRM. C. Anuj Goyal sir, we are very thankful to have us here with you.
Thank you, Ruchin ji, for giving a brief intro of our worthy chairman, C. Anuj Goyal ji. And as you rightly said that his academic qualification is exemplary. And apart from that, as a secretary to various committees under his chairmanship I served, I would like to share with you that is a person of vision and mission. Last year also he was the chairman of the research committee, the oldest technical committee of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So he would be addressing, I would request him to address few of his initiative taken last year. That is a milestone in the history of accounting profession. One of the International Research Award is the one of the initiative. Last year, not less than 6-7 initiatives taken. And I would request him in his opening remark, kindly touch some of the initiatives so that it would be beneficial for our members that what is Institute is thinking. Frankly speaking, it is the vision of C. Anuj Goyalji. Because of that, Institute nowadays is turning towards a research-led institution. And we are known across the world in the accounting fraternity, the very, 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 very important research institution. So there are many things to share. I think it would be appropriate if it is shared by Worthy Chairman C. Anuj Goyalji. So I think with his experience in 15 years in the council, it is always a value addition, because with every year, every experience, you are in a better position to contribute. So not taking much time, I request C.A. Anuj Goyalji for his opening remark and guide us with his words of wisdom. Over to C. Anuj Goyalji.
Thank you, Dr. Amit Kumar Agrawalji, our young and dynamic secretary of the Research Committee, the oldest technical committee of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. On behalf of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and on behalf of Ujjain and Ratlam branches, I welcome our honorable guest speaker, CA Dr. Vardaraj Bapat sir, who has been interacting with all of us on the future of research in accounting and finance. And I welcome on behalf of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and the Research Committee of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, our honorable chairman of Ujjain branch, CA Arpit Jain ji, and his entire team, and my brother, CA Dipendra Chopra ji, very, very dynamic leader of the profession from Ratlam, the chairman of the Ratlam branch, and his entire team. CA Ruchi Nagrawal ji, vice chairman of Ujjain branch, CA Ankit ji, our honorable vice chairman of Ratlam branch, CA Amit Vachani ji, secretary Ratlam branch, and of course we are having the presence of our Sikasa chairperson Ujjain, CA Kamini Meherwan ma'am, and we are having the presence of CA Ritesh Nagori ji, treasurer of Ratlam branch, and CA Arpit Sharma ji, Sikasa chairman, Ratlam branch, and all the office bearers of the Ujjain and Ratlam branch. And we are having, of course, the presence of around 4,000 chartered accountants from each and every part of the country. I think CA Neeraj Jain ji, treasurer Ujjain branch, has also joined. So welcome CA Neeraj Jain ji. In this very, very important virtual CP program on the very, very important topic, not only for the profession, but also for the nation, future of research in accounting and finance. And friends, in this time of Corona pandemic, in this time of crisis for the mankind, I think Research Committee and Committee on Capital Markets and Investors Protection, I am the chairman of both the committees. Others can be on mute, please. Neeraj ji, you can be on mute.
Sir?
Yeah. So in this time of pandemic, we are trying our level best to have more and more knowledge enriching programs so that the chartered accountants can be engaged in the knowledge updation and can be away from the negative thoughts and negative news which is there everywhere, whether it is social media or the news channel. And this knowledge enriching activities not only will help the chartered accountants individually, but also will help the profession and in turn the nation. So I am really very happy that and number of chartered accountants are the part of our initiatives. Around 4,000 chartered accountants today from each and every part of the world are there. That shows the dedication, devotion, commitment of the members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, who are the best accounting professionals, not only in our country, but across the globe. And I'm quite confident that the future of our CA profession is in the safe and secure hands of the chartered accountants like you. Friends, in its wonderful journey of 71 long years in the service to nation, ICAI has always worked for the best of all its stakeholders, aided the government in its endeavors, and always been a partner in nation building. The Institute has achieved recognition as a premier accounting body, not only in the country, but also globally, for maintaining highest standards in technical and ethical areas. At the outset, I would like to mention that the Research Committee of ICAI is one of the oldest technical committees set up in way back in 1955, with a view to undertake research activities to improve the quality of services rendered by the profession. And friends, let me tell you, the research is the backbone of any organization. Particularly, Bapaji will appreciate, particularly for the educational institutions, and more particularly for the regulators like the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, who are producing the best accounting professionals across the globe. I think the research is the backbone of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Fortunately, I was the chairman of the research committee last year also. So we tried our level best to see that how we can do really something concrete with the help of the members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India in the field of the research, which is not only good for themselves, but also good for the profession, and in turn, it is good for the nation. As rightly told by none other than APJ Abdul Kalam ji, our ex-president of India, that Institute of Chartered Accountants and Chartered Accountants are a real partner in nation building. So through research committee initiatives, we are trying our level best to prove that we are real partner in nation building. So last year, as I was having the responsibility of chairing the research committee, we took lot number of initiatives in spite of Corona pandemic, Bapaji. We tried our level best to see that how we can really do something very, very concrete in the field of the research. For the first time in the history of the Institute, the research committee has come out with ICAI doctoral scholarship scheme. It is open for all the members of the Institute who are pursuing PhD and are not more than 40 years of age. The scheme aims to provide scholarship to the eligible candidates having outstanding academic record in 10th and 12th and an inclination and commitment to undertake research in the areas such as auditing, taxation, commerce, management, and accounting discipline. The scholarship of rupees 50,000 per month for 3 years will be given to 5 scholars. So last date of submission of the application under ICAI doctoral scholarship scheme is 31st August. I will request all our honorable viewers to see that how we can have the best of the researchers who can be the part of this ICAI research doctoral scheme. Then, for the first time in the history of the Institute and the research committee, we come out with a research project scheme 2020. This research project scheme is open for members having experience of more than 10 years, either in practice or in employment. Maximum amount of rupees 10 lakhs will be reimbursed to the eligible researchers, and the applicants will be given the time duration of 6 months for completing the research project after the research proposal is approved by the research committee. And this scheme is open round the year. And RPG, in spite of the Corona pandemic, last year we approved 7 research projects, and Dipendraji, you will be very happy to know that our chartered accountants have completed all those research projects within given time of 6 months in spite of this Corona pandemic, and all those research projects were not only good for the profession but also good for the nation. And we have submitted their findings to the various government departments and the ministries. Then ICI International Research Award. I think for the first time in the history of the accounting profession, we are the part of the International Federation of Accountants, IFAC. IFAC is having 170 accounting bodies. This award, International Research Award, could be considered as the world's largest cross-border competition, with an objective to encourage and provide recognition to research scholars across the globe and their contribution in fostering research studies leading to innovation and value creation. The scope of the awards would be to identify the topics of international and societal importance, encompassing areas of accounting, auditing, economics, finance, and taxation. The last date for submitting published research paper is 31st May, that is today. Today is the last date. And we have already got more than 100 entries. And Baparji, I will request you if you can get some more entries today for the ICI International Research Award. I think nothing like that. And you will be happy to know that immediate past president of International Federation of Accountant, IFAC, was the chairman of the jury last year, and the IFAC president, International Federation of Accountants president, was the member of the jury. And this year also, the IFAC president is the chairman of the jury. That shows the importance of this award. And only president and vice president from ICI from India are the only Indians who are the part of this very, very powerful jury. Then friends, ICI Awards for Excellence in Financial Reporting. ICI through its research committee has been making sustained efforts since 1958 to promote high quality financial reporting through the annual awards competition. ICI Awards for Excellence in Financial Reporting, wherein the entities are being recognized for following sound financial practices amongst their peers. The awards are open for the corporates to submit their annual reports in order to recognize and encourage excellence in preparation and presentation of financial information. Last year, we had received the highest number of entries for the awards in the last 7 years. And this year, categories of awards have been revised. A new category of municipal body has been incorporated, and the last date of submitting the entries is 30th September. I will request the office bearers of the Ujjain and Ratlam branch and all the viewers to please see that how we can have more and more nomination for this, so that the best entity can be identified. Friends, amidst the chaos caused by the global pandemic, COVID-19, ICI has come up with several enabling measures and initiatives to promote knowledge as the ultimate weapon. The Institute has always remained at the technological forefront. The Institute has always been keen towards adapting and upgrading the skills of professionals in tune with changing requirements. We understand the importance of knowledge sharing for not just individual enrichment, but for all-round social benefit. In this series, the research committee has been quite proactive in spreading this light of knowledge. Research has been integral to accounting profession since the formation of the institute. Against this backdrop, the research committee of ICI has come up with this virtual CP meeting on future of research in accounting and finance. Friends, the profession of chartered accountants is witnessing major changes due to changes in the law, new services, technologies, and an ever-increasing number of professional standards. It is a matter of pride that members of ICI are enriched with world-class competencies in accounting and finance. I will not be taking your further time, as very eager to hear none other than CA Dr. Varadaraj Bapatji, Faculty in Finance, SGM School of Management, IIT Mumbai, and of course he is a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So on behalf of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and the Research Committee, I once again welcome all our honorable viewers and the members of Ratlam branch and Ujjain branch and the office bearers of Ratlam and Ujjain branch. Over to CA Dr. Amit Advani.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman sir, for your nice words of wisdom, and you deliberated very nicely, and you take us on the various initiatives taken by the committee, and you also suggested the future ahead. I am happy to share with you that today is the last date for International Research Award nomination, and we have received, we crossed our last year target. We crossed 100 nomination plus, and from 8 countries as of now. But till midnight, we are expecting more number of nomination. I would request Dr. Bapat also, because he must be having many publication in his credit. He may also get nominated his publication in that award, because it's once it is spreading, you will not believe. We have papers from US, UK, Australia, and almost all the continents we have the papers. So this is the beauty of this award ceremony. With these words, now I would request CA Dr. Bapat sir for his deliberation. Over to Bapat sir.
Namaste to everyone. Thanks to Anuj ji, Amit ji from Research Committee, and also all the office bearers of Ratlam and Ujjain branch, and most importantly, all the participants who have taken out their time to attend to this very interesting session on research. I would like to start the session with 3 rounds of Omkar. We have already had a Shanti mantra, but let us also have Omkar. So please close your eyes. Have a great smile on your face. Take a deep and complete inhalation. Once again, take a deep and complete inhalation. Once again, take a deep and complete inhalation. Slowly, gradually, you can open your eyes. Have a great smile on your face. I hope all the stress and tensions are gone, and we are in a positive mood to discuss, I won't even say listen, about research, because research involves innovation. Our mind should be open for new ideas, for a great research. I also take this opportunity to offer my respects to Ahilyabai, Punyashlok Ahilyabai, Ahilya Devi Holkar, because today is her birth anniversary. Coincidentally, we have got a lot of participants from Central India, from where she belongs, but her work is throughout all parts of India as a great ruler. So we'll go to our today's topic. I'm sharing my screen. I hope you are able to see the screen. And as we discuss, you can also raise your questions, queries, discussion.
Yeah, Bapat sir, there is a query chat box is there, and chairman would be taking questions at the end of this session.
Yeah, I know. That's why, but I'm requesting members to keep on putting up their discussion points as well as queries, because I would be very happy to address your points rather than just giving a one-sided session. So coming to our topic of research in accounting and finance, generally when we talk about research, people think of scientific research as only researcher. There's a scientist or researcher ko almost it is considered one and the same thing. But I would like to tell you that research in accounting, finance, management, commerce is equally important. It is as impactful to society, to industry, and to the whole globe as is scientific research. So we should be really open for that. Of course, we should see to it that the research topics which we choose and the quality of work which we do really proves to be useful to the society. It is applied, it is Bharat-centric. Of course, I know there are some participants from outside India also. They can address problems in their society, but we should avoid copying from other countries. In India, that has been happening for very long. So research could not address our own problems. So today we should see to it that our research is Bharat-centric. Now the next question is, why do we need research? To tell my own story, in 95, I obtained my qualification as Chartered Accountant. And within few years, I realized that I wanted to do something innovative. So I kept on searching for guides. लोग मुझे बोलते थे अरे सीए होके कहाँ पीएचडी कर रहे हो, ये लॉन्ग 4-5 साल जाते हैं, इट्स नॉट अ गुड थिंग, उससे कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. But I was lucky enough, and yeah, one more thing, chartered accountancy was not even considered as a minimum qualification even to join PhD. So I went to Mumbai University and few more places, and I found that that's not the place for me to do research. Coincidentally, I went to IIT Bombay, and I realized that IITB allows chartered accountants directly. They are permitted as for joining PhD. Of course, there is an entrance test and other things, but it is allowed as a qualification. Then I joined research in IITB. I did my PhD in capital markets, and people over there were very happy. Then I was offered a faculty position, and now I am a professor there. So this is not to boast about me. This is to tell you that in those days, there was not much recognition or not much positive atmosphere for the research. But today, I'm very happy that research committee is taking so many initiatives, whether research scholarships, whether research projects, or whether these awards, to promote the research. And I hope that members take this opportunity now that the atmosphere is positive. Now, why research? As the first point I have kept here, that we should move from information consumers to knowledge creators. As chartered accountants, we should not be just following some legal requirements or some case laws. So somebody else creates knowledge and we just become somebody to comply. From there, we can move to a next position or to a higher position of being knowledge creator, which happens because of research. Second, very important point is, we know that this is an era of automation and AI. So many new apps are coming, so many new programs are coming, and routine jobs are becoming redundant. So if we stick to our routine jobs, actually in few years or perhaps in few months, they may go to some automated system. Our clients and society as a whole may not need chartered accountants, rather right now also does not need chartered accountants for doing routine jobs. So we need to move out and become knowledge creators. We really have to move up the value chain. and for that, research will surely help. Some of you who are in teaching or who are interested in teaching would know that research also provides a very vital input to teaching. So it would be helpful if you want to join teaching profession. And Bharat has come out with a national education policy, and this is a policy which encourages and promotes research. So a few slides devoted to the policy level changes done by the government. This is a very significant policy. It outlines the vision of India's new education system, and it gives a comprehensive framework right from elementary to higher education, including vocational training, and it aims to completely transform India's educational system. It is based on 4S: skills, scientific attitude, spirituality, and Sarva Samaveshak Shiksha, or holistic and integrated education. All of them will lead to youth empowerment. At one end, it has a potential to touch upon our traditional knowledge systems. And in our traditional system, there was no regimentation. Unfortunately, in current education system, there is a very strong regimentation. This is commerce, this is economics, this is science, this is arts, and so on. But the new policy seeks to move to a direction where there will be integrated learning. The last policy brought in 86 was infrastructure oriented, and we know that we are today in the fourth industrial revolution. We are in the era of IT, rather ICT, information and communication technology. So many changes are happening, both in technology and in society. So there was a need to have a new policy on education, and I think that's where this is a very good policy. It has a focus on innovation, ethical values, and very importantly, training of minds, making a person holistic. We all know that our traditional education is a strict rote memorization. जो by heart कर सकता है, एग्जाम में जाके लिख सकता है, is considered to be a intelligent person. But this new policy emphasizes on HOTS, that is higher order thinking skills, which are very important. It gives priority to creative thinking, critical analysis, innovative solutions. And as the world is becoming borderless, we have to meet global standards, we have to face global competition, and we have whole world opened up for us to provide our services. That's where I think this new policy will really be helpful. This policy seeks to create National Research Foundation, which will be an autonomous body under the Act of Parliament, which will promote research in almost all the domains. If we look at number of researchers in different parts of the world, there are only 15 researchers per 1 lakh population in Bharat, as against 111 in China, 425 in US, and 500 plus in Israel. So if we really want to compete with the developed nations, if we really want to bring out our strength, we need a research culture, and that is being supported by this education policy. It seeks to provide integrated education, integrated knowledge. So I would like to quote Bhartruhari, who is also incidentally from Central India, ancient grammarian, philosopher, and a king, who said that learning or pragya matures into wisdom or viveka when it is watered by the fountain of various systems of knowledge. So we need to open up, move to a holistic approach, not only stick to what we know, but should know many other areas that will create a path for balanced society of the future. NEP celebrates our ancient Indian knowledge system, which was very much advanced, not only in culture or languages, but also in economics, politics, sciences, and so on. So we have to take what best we have, but looking at the current technology. Overall, it is empowering and a decentralized one. It seeks to internationalize higher education. That is where I think our institute will also play a major role, and targets in creating India as a knowledge hub. We know that we have a lot of intellect. We have to develop skills, we have to develop attitude, and really offer it to the world, and the policy seeks to go in that direction. It also promotes entrepreneurship, innovative solutions. That's where also research would be very important. Now coming to the next point of our discussion, these are the different types of research. And I know we have got large number of participants. I'm very happy that 4,000 plus, perhaps 5,000 plus people have joined. So you would have diverse interests. You would be in different age groups and operating in different industries. Some will be in practice, some will be perhaps in corporate world, some may be education. So अलग-अलग type का research आपको appeal हो सकता है. One is a professional research. I know all the chartered accountants in practice have to respond to their queries of their clients, have to provide them solutions. एक तरह से वो professional research है. But that needs to be done more systematically. Our efforts can be channelized if we do it in a better way. Then there is academic research, something which provides a long-term solution. There is a doctoral research which may lead to PhD. Research helps us in value creation as against compliance. Because I am aware many of the chartered accountants generally think of compliance. Perhaps our exam system normally makes us to think about कि okay, ये provisions आए हैं, ये law आया है, ये judgment आया है, तो we have to comply. We have to advise our client how they can be compliant. Nothing wrong in it. But for value creation, we need to be policy makers. We should be giving policy suggestions that okay, इस तरह के laws would be useful. GST में ये problems है, तो these changes would be useful. That's where I think research will help. We can tell the government that these type of funding would be really helpful to the government. So please make changes in the banking laws or in the policies of RBI accordingly. We can perhaps advise on better financial products. We can perhaps advise on better ways of regulation. ऐसे बहुत सारे areas में value creation हो सकता है by going for different type of research. And of course, it will also help us to be good consultants. We know that leading consultancy jobs are actually handled by the foreign firms and not by Indian firms. And apart from CA foreign firms, there are so many other consultants who handle many of the consultancy opportunities. And research can help us to not only grab that as a professional opportunity, but also to give value to the society. The next discussion could be about the research topic selection. Usually we would think about within the disciplines of accounting and finance, but we should also open up our mind and go for interdisciplinary research. So audit, taxation, economics, so okay, they are related topics for us. But our research would also be helpful in science, in technology, in languages, in entrepreneurship, in management, and so on. So interdisciplinary research is something which creates more value. So we should think of tying up with university professors. We should think of having an understanding with the industry so that our research would be more relevant and would also be useful to society or industry. So while identifying research topic, please try to contextualize it by good literature review. क्योंकि पहले ही उस पे अगर रिसर्च हो चुका है, there is no point in repeating it. Research में we should be trying to invent something new. So a high quality literature review, global literature review would be very much useful. Then we have to choose type of research. Then the choice of data collection method. क्या आप primary research कर सकते हो? Can you collect data from the clients or industry or banks and so on? You can also get help of several databases which are already available so that we don't have to waste time in collecting basic data which is already available. Then we should also look at the quantitative and qualitative research methods which are required for our research. We should not forget ethical issues and research code, and look at the research output desired. क्या आप रिसर्च पेपर लिखना चाह रहे हो? क्या आप रिसर्च रिपोर्ट लिख के पॉलिसी सजेशन के लिए दे रहे हो? Are you coming out with a policy paper, or are you targeting to write a consultancy report? So according to considering all these points, one can decide on the research topic selection. For a strong foundation in research, some of the important things is we should have theoretical, applied as well as critical skills. Try to learn research methods and methodology. We would need to learn econometrics, statistics, good hand on various computing tools, various softwares, various databases. We should be able to interpret the data and test various hypotheses. This foundation would make our research of a high quality and impactful. Steps in research, somewhat repetition. We have already seen how to select a good research topic. Assuming that you have chosen a research topic, you can take these steps in research. First one is review of literature. इसमें ये कवर होगा कि what are the major studies in the area which we want to study. बहुत सारे लोगों ने भारत में भी और डेवलप मार्केट में या अदर अंडर डेवलप मार्केट्स में बहुत सारा रिसर्च किया होगा. It is very important that we go through high quality journal papers on our theme, on related themes, and also on methodology. From there, we go to research methodology, try to find out what are the tools used, how is normalization done, how is a particular hypothesis tested, and then choose suitable methodology for us. There will be certain modeling variations, probabilities, choice of random variable, choice of distribution, choice of both dependent and independent variable. Then selection of suitable data collection, whether it is primary or secondary, knowing our population and deciding on the sample selection, both size as well as the way to select the sample. Once we have collected the data, we'll have to use various tools for suitable analysis of data. देखो आप अलग अलग सीरीजेस लोगे. There are two important ones in that. One is a cross sectional data The other one is a time series data. Cross-sectional is like a point of time, something like a balance sheet. And time series is over a period of time. You have to take data for 5 years, 10 years, and so on. So if you take two variables, उसमें कुछ ना कुछ relation आपको मिल ही जाएगा. So you should be very careful in interpreting it, whether it's a spurious relation, whether there is any logic to this relation, what have other researchers found, are you supporting their findings, or are you finding something new? So this care one has to take while analyzing the data and then interpreting the results. Based on all this, we can test the hypothesis. We can use regression or panel data and various advanced techniques of analytics. Then interpretation, discussions, and conclusion. So once our findings are known, we may have to discuss with various stakeholders. Like, these are our findings, what are their views on that, and finally come out with the conclusions and publish your research in an appropriate way. It could be a conference, it could be a research paper, it could be a policy paper, it could be a research report, as we discussed earlier. As I said, especially in finance and economics, lot of databases are available. For example, there is a Proves corporate database from CMI. There is a Bloomberg database, especially for those who are interested in capital market. We have got a lot of economy related data from RBI. We have got society related data from various government databases, especially census. So look at suitable databases and the tools to analyze the data. Now coming to various topics, because the title of today's work is what is the future. So we can think of hundreds and hundreds of topics. I have tried to list a few of them. So I would be very happy to discuss with you what are the topics which you find relevant. So accounting and audit related topics. We know that 2008 we went through financial crisis. Currently also, because of pandemic, there is an economic and financial crisis. So what's a critical study of the role of auditors or the role of stakeholders in that? Then corporate organization, impact of audit, independence on accountability and transparency. In accounting, we can have topics like green accounting, which is an upcoming topic, or environmental accounting, study of environmental impact of a particular activity. Managerial ownership and its effect on firm performance. Corporate governance and its effect on firm performance. Then in accounting, since we are very good at measuring firm performance, they can be linked to various things, which includes board independence, compensation structure, firm's life cycle, earning management, corporate disclosure policies, product life cycle, R&D of the firm, and firm performance. So a lot of topics in accounting. Similarly, we can study various aspects in taxation, which includes various tax laws and their impact on economy, or tax laws and their impact on a particular industry or certain firms. You can even choose a particular provision of a tax law, how it affects government revenue on one side and how it affects the assessees. Does it give hardship? Does it serve the intended purpose of promoting a particular good behavior? So many things can be studied in taxation as well. The next one is corporate finance related topics, which includes M&A, which is a hot topic today. So in days to come, we are going to see several mergers because we know that a lot of foreign companies are coming to India. That's why our indices are high. Both FPI, that is foreign portfolio investment, and FDI is almost at a highest level. So analytical study of various mergers, their benefits as well as setbacks. We usually find that the acquirers overpay. So why do they pay that much? What is the logic? What happens afterwards? What is the impact of valuation before acquisition and after acquisition, immediately and after a few years? Impact of manipulating the commodity market on future commerce, continuous time models, so exhaustive comparative analysis and its applications in drivers of financial environment. So we are aware of so many drivers and there can be various comparative analysis on the same. How speculation undermines the stability of banking system, whether in Asian market, global markets or Indian markets. So there can be various studies about banking and the stability in the banking system. Use of bootstrapped interest rates to price corporate debt and capital market instruments. So various other studies are also possible in debt markets because slowly Indian debt markets are developing. Government security market already has a lot of traction. Now the corporate bond market is also coming up. So it is possible to study the valuations, the trading aspects, the corporate finance related aspects, that when and how company should issue debt and so on. Then buybacks, a critical analysis of how firms can buy back at optimal prices, what is the right time to buy back, whether the buyback has helped company, whether the buyback has helped investors and so on. Along with buyback, you can also think of studying about issue of bonus shares, splitting of shares and so on. Few more corporate finance topics could include ethical concerns and possible solution. The whole world is moving towards the importance of ethics and good behavior, because in the short run you can make a lot of money by following immoral or illegal policies, but in the long run it will affect valuation, wealth and also the goodwill. So various things related to ethics can be studied. Then bond rating, the effect of bond rating on the prices of stock, the effect of bond rating on the issuers' interest rates, the effect of bond rating on the bond market prices. So a lot of things can be studied around credit rating of bonds. Then coming to costing related topics, we have got budgetary control, its impact on the organizational performance. We can check budgetary control in both companies as well as in the government, because almost all the bodies, whether government or NGOs, use budgets. They collect a lot of data, compare it with their targets. Many times there are slippages, so we can study the budgetary control on those lines. Then we know that electronic banking, mobile banking has become so important today. So what is its impact on customer? What is its impact on bank? What type of infrastructure? What type of security infrastructure or audit or regulation is required for today's banking? That can be studied. Credit and bad debt, novel techniques of management in commercial banks. today we know that bad bank has emerged, so there are a lot of opportunities to study why NPAs happen, how they are handled, and what is the effective way of handling the NPAs. Critical assessment of impact of NPAs or loan defaults on the profitability of the bank and its impact on the system. Then a few topics on portfolio management. We know that the corporate finance and portfolio management areas are very important, but they are today significantly dominated by MBA finance or CA.
Yeah. So meantime, he reconnect. I took up some of the queries, advanced queries received as of now. One is regarding PhD, how to pursue PhD and PhD with the IIMs. So with my experience as a doctorate, I did my PhD way back in 2005. I would like to share with you that nowadays for PhD, there are two ways. Each university have is pre-PhD exam. Generally, it's happen between April to July, but because of this corona, it may be delayed or somehow. And another way is if you go for national eligibility test, then if you net qualified, then automatically after JRF you would be given opportunity without going for a pre-PhD exam. So this is for entry purpose. Once you pass this entry level exam, either in form of net JRF or in form of pre-PhD, then you have to submit a synopsis of your research work. You have to search a guide in particular department. Suppose you are from commerce side, so you can go for commerce department or management department. Nowadays, interdisciplinary PhD is also, doctorate is also allowed by most of the universities. So based on your topic, you can apply in that particular department. Then there would be a DPC, departmental DRC, departmental research committee meeting. Then if they approve, then you will be allowed for a PhD. So this is the whole about. Then you have to go for a guide and do some research under the guidance of your supervisor. So this is all about, and after that you can submit your thesis. That thesis will go to 3 of the evaluator, outside evaluator. Dr. Bapat had joined. So Dr. Bapat, with your permission, can I finish this query?
Namaste.
Yeah. Dr. Bapat, I'm finishing one query.
Sorry?
Then you can take up. Yeah. So.
Jarur.
Yeah. After that, a viva would be there, and after if it is found okay, then degree is awarded. This is about PhD. So other query I will take up at a later stage. Now I request Bapat sir for continuing his presentation. Over to Bapat sir. Bapat sir, you are on mute. Bapat sir, you are on mute. Bapat sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, namaste. Is it audible and visible now?
Yeah.
आवाज आ रहा है ना?
Yes sir, it's fine. Sir, can you hear us?
Good. Yes. So I think after 40 minutes one needs a break. So technology ने हमको जबरदस्ती एक break लेना mentally with me. So we were discussing some of the topics in accounting, audit, taxation, corporate finance, and I think we were here in the portfolio management. Measurement of risk factors, which includes beta and various measures, then the risk premia, then fixed income and structured finance, international investing of investors coming to India, then legal and regulatory public policy, so since knowledge of legal side, we can look at legal, regulatory as well as public policy aspects of portfolio management. Then long term and retirement. We know that there are different methodologies of investing. For short term, medium term, long term, we have got technical analysis, fundamental analysis. So I think especially in fundamental analysis, which will include company, industry as well as economy analysis, I think chartered accountants can do very important research useful to investors or to brokers or to also to investment bankers. Then mutual funds, nowadays popular areas are passive indexing, passive investing, index funds and so on. Alternate investment strategies, investment in real assets, private equity, these are also some of the areas which are coming up. Risk management, security analysis and valuation aspects. The next area
Sir,
which I have...
Sir, can I ask
Yes.
you a few of the questions? Because in your back, can you back your slide?
Yes, sure.
slide, please.
I would be very happy कि
Yeah.
साथ में ही questions, so
Yes, yes,
तभी
yes.
clear हो जाता है.
Sir, for
Please.
portfolio management, if I correctly understand, these are the areas where there is a lot of scope of research. But I think portfolio management is a very dynamic subject and it's need a daily research. Because fortunately, I am is secretary of one of the committee, Capital Market and Investors Protection Committee, and we have a certificate course on fundamental and technical analysis. So I think the chartered accountant are the best resource for doing any technical and fundamental analysis of any course, and that too if they are applying towards research, I think it is cherry on the cake. Bapat sir, can you hear me?
Amit ji, yeah, Amit ji, see, I would like to clarify कि उसमें अलग-अलग things है possible है.
Yes.
As you have rightly said, if you are an investor or if you are advising somebody to manage the portfolio immediately, definitely it needs a lot of time to be given, because market is moving every time. It's a dynamic thing. But at the same time, there is also scope for academic and doctoral research, which doesn't look at day-to-day movement. So कुछ experts ऐसे भी हैं, they might be only studying industry. You also need some people who would look at the economy. You would need some people who look at the innovative strategies of investing, and they would be advisors to investment bankers. So there are different types of, I agree with you that it needs, I mean, it is changing, but there is also a possibility of long-term research. That's what I wanted to add.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For academic research also, I have few ideas with me that that's very recently Institute has allowed for its members derivative trading. Likewise, we can, cryptocurrency can be one of the area, risk management is one of the area. There are a lot of studies already there. So what I could understand, what I'm suggesting to the researchers, that's prospective researchers, that because my query is based on one of the query received from the participant, that sir, what are the areas which are untouched in the accounting and finance. So dear viewers, there is no area where no research is there, but there is always a scope of further research. So further research means, so you first, for namesake, one should not go for any research. Research should come from a research problem. Very first, you should ascertain the research problem. Then you go for a literature review and found the gap. Where is the gap? If there is already available literature, then automatically you will be getting your answer of your research question. In case you are not getting answer of your research question after your literature review, then you go for a further research. So I hope I have given the answer of that query, that what are the areas which are untouched, because no area, because India itself is having 130 crores population, and so every university is imparting doctorate. So I think lot of thing is there to discuss and to research. So if we found a particular nomenclature, that this particular nomenclature is untouched, that is very difficult. Over to Bapat sir.
Okay. As identify a good topic, जो मैंने पहले भी दिखाया था अपने इसमें, कि it is very important that a topic which is useful either to industry or to society or to some client, we should be able to identify. The next area which I am to governance. This is also an upcoming field. So green governance and sustainability reporting in industries, especially in polluting industries. So we know that we are now moving towards integral report become very important. Then two better governed firms generate linkage between the disclosures, patents, and the value created by the better governed firms. Can institutional ownership, possibilities of different types of ownership. So what role do they play? Do investors and creditors pay the price? About the governance, do the family firm itself is a very important area of study. Do they have long-term view? How green growth is possible for developing countries? The next area is CSR. So corporate social responsibility, governance, outcomes, and financial performance, their linkages, that can be an interesting area of study. CSR and business sustainability performance, their linkages, the cost of equity. So today corporate world is increasingly concerned about sustainability, because by adopting wrong ways one can make a lot of profit but only in the short run. So it has become acceptable now to think about sustainable performance, the disclosures related to that, then CSR reporting practices, the quality of disclosure, and CSR and earnings management practices of the companies. The next very important area of research, which is again upcoming, is about behavioral finance. We know that as chartered accountants, most of us would be very good at numbers, So we would be good at quantitative work. We would perhaps be good at handling statistics and analytics, which is very important. But at the same time, today behavioral finance, behavioral economics is becoming very important area. It is being increasingly realized that human beings do not behave rationally, and most of the economic theories tell us that human beings are rational, which actually they are not. That is why differences between behavioral finance versus traditional finance, there are a few similarities also, they can be studied. The effect of interest rate increase and inflation on personal finance. Cultural finance is a very important upcoming field, because we know that our likes, dislikes, our beliefs have a significant effect on the way we think and the way we act. For example, in most of the Western countries, reverse mortgage products are quite popular. So typically people in their old age mortgage their property, and then they take monthly installment from the bank. After their death, the property is handed over to the company. But in India, when these reverse mortgage products were offered, they were totally not accepted, because in our society this is not acceptable that मेरे बाद में मेरा घर मैं बैंक को दे दूंगा या lender को दे दूंगा. It is understood that whatever property we have inherited or even if we have purchased should be handed over to the next generation. So reverse mortgage was not popular. In fact, housing loans are popular. People want to buy houses and bigger houses or properties and want to create wealth for their next generation. That is where cultural finance plays a very important role. We are already aware that Islamic finance today has become a well-established branch of finance. But up to 1970s, it was almost unknown. We know that interest is banned in Islam, so good part of Islamic world was out of finance. But then Islamic finance concept was introduced. We have got a lot of Islamic banks today and lot of institutions working on the concept of Islamic finance. In the same way, there is a possibility of coming out with Hindu finance, Hindu investing, or other Indic finance principles, which are anyway more business friendly, but not much explored. Today we know that a lot of people are working from home, some people are forced to work from home. So what are its impact on both employers and employees? We can study cost wise, we can study effectiveness wise, we can also study what is psychological aspects of this. So like that, in behavioral finance also there are several areas which can be studied. So right now it's 5:20, so I am stopping here my presentation because I want to give good amount of time for your questions. So we have got about 20-25 minutes, and I hope we are having a lot of questions and queries.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Bapat, for your very, very informative session. And I would request the panelists to start with Arpit Sharma sir for taking up queries. Over to Arpit Sharma ji. Meantime, Arpit Sharma ji joins. I request Kamini ma'am to take up the queries.
So in your presentation, a very emerging topic of the finance, so kindly suggest some top tier international journal for submitting research paper. on this topic. Sir, listen me. Bapat sir.
Sorry, नहीं सुनाई दिया. Please
Sir,
repeat. I
sir,
couldn't get.
sir, kindly suggest some top tier international journal for submitting research paper on emerging topic of finance.
Bapat sir, query is what are the good
Am I audible?
journals where finance related paper can be published?
I got the questions.
Yeah.
I got the question. See, अलग-अलग areas पे depend करता है.
So, dear viewers, Harvard Business Review is one of the
If
best
you are in the
prominent
pure,
journal.
then
Yes, Bapat sir.
we have got Journal of Finance. We have got Journal of Quantitative Finance. Then, as I said, behavioral finance is coming up. So we have got a Journal of Behavioral Finance.
Hello.
Then we have got
Hello. Sir, another one
Asia-Pacific
question.
region.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, listen me.
please.
How to, sir, ensure the compliance of the research ethic while performing research in the area of accounting and finance?
If you are going for a primary research, we should go for an informed opinion. So there we are meeting or we are sending questionnaire. So there we have to be very careful about collecting data. About the secondary data, we should ensure that the data basis which we are using. And most importantly, I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please continue.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Most importantly,
Sir, Bapat sir, there is some network problem.
we should know that we should. हमको पता है कि आजकल न्यूज़ चैनल्स इतने.
Bapat sir, can
hello?
you recheck? Bapat sir, can you recheck your connection? It's a frequent disconnection. So I would be answering few of the queries as rightly raised by one of the viewer. Kamini ma'am, you have raised one query, na? See, can you repeat it? The last query.
Sir, how to ensure compliance of the research ethic while performing research in the area of accounting and finance? Or how important is the compliance of research ethic?
Yeah, I understand. I got your point. In first, it's a very, very important query, and I think that needs a lot of deliberation. If I'm not wrong, Mr. Rahul Paul is there, my colleague. 4th of this month, we have one webinar, one VCM on research from one of the professor, our own fraternity member from Australia would be taking one of the session, Dr. Achinto Rai, who conducted one research study for us also. And his last year in that pandemic time also, we conducted one webinar on research ethics. So I would like to share with all of you that I was one of the viewer in that webinar. For research ethics, first, you should be honest. You should tell the respondent that this is for the research purpose. You should be honest. You should not disclose that information apart from that research purpose only. And there should be a declaration. And when you are asking any particular question to any particular respondent, you have to make clear that this particular question is asked to particular respondent for a particular research purpose only, and that should not be disclosed. And a proper acknowledgement should be given. Wherever you are taking secondary data, you should give a acknowledgement. These are the few of the elements of a ethical research. Your first question was, ma'am, I couldn't get it. The research, best research journal. Harvard Business Review is one of the best research journals. Harvard Business Review is one of the best research journal. There are other research journal as well also. One is very, very prominent is Accounting History, is International Accounting History. And there are many other journals. You just Google down it, you will find a lot of good quality journal.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Kamini ma'am, for taking up the queries. Now I request Ritesh Nagori sir, for taking up some query.
Yes, sir. My query is that kindly guide and suggest few of the area in accounting where qualitative research can be performed. As generally, quantitative research is undertaken for the topic of accounting due to involvement of numbers and figures.
Bapat sir, you will be taking or I should take up?
You can take up because मुझे बीच का
He can repeat.
Repeat करूँ sir मैं?
Yes, please. You
part सुनाई नहीं दिया.
Yeah, yes, sir. Kindly guide and suggest few of the qualitative research can be performed generally. Quantitative research is undertaken for the topic of accounting due to involvement of number and figures.
Amit ji, there is too much Amit ji, you can take it up because too much disturbance. I am not able to get it.
Understand. Ritesh ji, if I correctly understood,
Yes, sir.
that
Yes.
the query is the area of quantitative research and qualitative research in accounting, if I am not wrong.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So qualitative research, if I go, then value addition to the society, a study. Now let me give a brief overview of the institute initiative in this field. Integrated reporting is nowadays expanding its scope. Keeping in view the international financial reporting framework, that's most of the international organization is more focusing on sustainability aspect and integrated reporting aspect. And keeping in view all these things, Institute has set up a separate sustainability accounting board also. Sustainability accounting reporting board within Institute as a committee, at a separate committee within ICI framework. So these are because nowadays one very, very burning topic is there where our chartered accountant can play a very vital role is on social stock exchange. Social stock exchange is one of the area where chartered accountant can do some research. They can suggest because there is this social stock exchange concept remains with Brazil, if I'm not wrong, and India is pioneering in coming out with this concept note. SEBI has taken up this study. They have framed a group. ICI representative also one of the technical group member there, and we have came out with one study on social stock exchange. So these are some of the these are new burning areas where chartered accountant can do some research. They can suggest something. And these are the qualitative areas where research can be explored. Next question.
I would like to add one. Am I audible?
Yes, please.
I would just add one example. Amit ji ने बहुत अच्छा दिया है. Definitely this social stock exchange or sustainability reporting is important. But just give an example. See, published data होता है. When we churn that data, we calculate ratio, find linkages, it becomes a quantitative research. But as chartered accountants, we know कि data के पीछे क्या रहता है. That we know, but nobody documents. कि क्या profit inflate किया हुआ है. Is there any earnings management? या उल्टा है, because of tax management has profit been deflated? Can we talk to some of our clients hiding their identity? Because we can't publish with the name, but hiding their identity, can we give what are the tendencies for and why people inflate or deflate profit? Similarly, if we go for valuation of inventory, why people inflate or deflate, उनके purposes क्या होते हैं, in what way it impacts positively or negatively, उसकी finance side है, banking side है, accounting side है, all this becomes a qualitative work. And I think qualitative work perhaps is even more important because quantitative data फिर भी मिल जाता है, but qualitative data is not available. So bankers or an unlisted, I mean not a registered company, उसका data reliable नहीं मानते हैं. So what are the ways in which they would know will be able to assess the credibility of the lender? Thank you.
Yeah, Ritesh ji, do you have another query?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My second question: what are the good source of literature review for research in the futuristic areas of finance, such as blockchain, cryptocurrency, etc.?
Bapat sir,
What are the good sources of? What are the good sources of?
Literature
Source of
review for
literature
research
review.
in the futuristic areas of finance, such as blockchain, cryptocurrency, etc.
Okay. मैं एक जनरल सर्विस बाय गूगल स्कॉलर. सो गूगल सर्च के साथ साथ इफ यू गो फॉर गूगल स्कॉलर, गूगल और नीचे स्कॉलर करके आ जाएगा, एंड देन दे वुड गिव ऑल द स्कॉलरली पेपर्स इन दैट area. So if we study, and to broaden it, we can go for a blockchain technology, because blockchain is going to be useful in accounting, in regulation, banking, and many other things. So then we can study what work has happened abroad. And then we can see what can be our institutions. That would become a very, very interesting and useful research. That's why if you remember in my initial slides, I had said Bharat centric. कहीं तो कुछ काम हुआ है, but how we know that? So that linkage, if we do, that would become a very, very socially relevant research. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, CA Amit ji, my colleague from research committee, I would request you please open up that link and be ready for question answer. Meantime, I request Arpit Sharma ji for taking up his questions. Over to Arpit Sharma ji.
Okay, sir. Sir, my query is that accounting profession has posed drastic change due to major technology shifts taken by numerous business. Keeping in mind such changes, how impactful and important the skill related to data analytical, big data, machine learning, artificial intelligence, etc. will prove themselves in future, sir? Oh, sir.
Yeah, very important question. In fact, मैंने मेरे slide में भी दिखाया था कि today AI is going to take over many of our routine jobs. बहुत सारा काम ऑटोमेट हो रहा है, and artificial intelligence would simply take over. Then there is a big data, because most of the social media sites, Google and many other companies, they are collecting data on a large scale. They analyze it, develop their algorithms. So the routine kind of findings become irrelevant because they have got vast data. So I think definitely chartered accountants would play a very important role. We need to learn technology, but even if we don't know technology, if we can link how it can be used, वो काफी काम आएगा, and it is almost going to become compulsory to know at least how it is applied. धन्यवाद.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Sir, one more query, mine. Kindly suggest the research area specifically related to forensic accounting, which needs to address and update in order to make forensic accounting and auditing more robust in coming future.
Very good question, because in my slide actually I had not shown forensic accounting. मैं थोड़ा सा भूल भी गया था, और दूसरा ये भी रीजन है कि this is something where it is very difficult to get data. So कोई अगर हमारे पास पूछने को आता है can I do PhD in forensic accounting, frankly मैं बताता हूँ यार ये डेटा मिलना बहुत difficult है, because scams and all these things, nobody gives data. But that doesn't mean it's important. Actually it's a big challenge. So I would request research committee and seniors in the profession, if they can do something, because individual researcher को data के लिए difficult है. Otherwise, it's a very important topic of professional importance and also social importance, because as chartered accountants, we are good at auditing. We are also good at finding frauds.
Yeah, but RPG, I would also like to
But it should
add
not
on this.
remain one off case. उसका जनरलाइजेशन के लिए हमको 5, 10, 15 केस. Then if we have good number of cases, we would be able to give some general observations regarding frauds, which
Yeah, Arpit sir, I would like to add on the what
would be
deliberated
very much
by,
useful to
Bapat
bankers
sir.
and policymakers.
Bapat sir, have you taken up this query now?
Yeah, अमित जी आप ऐड करिए.
Yeah. So let me share with all the viewers and the panelists that Institute has come out with the forensic accounting standard as well. Very recently in the recent council meeting is approved. So there is a lot of scope for forensic accounting standard also, because it's a new area nowadays. New accounting standard came. And as rightly said by Bapat sir, that data seems to be very difficult in forensic research, but I'm happy to share with you, we have conducted 3 research study in research committee secretariat itself, and 2 of the training programs we have recently conducted for economic offense wing of the Delhi Police by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India on how this data can be analyzed. And because it was based on how manipulation is being taken, is manipulated, or with the help of multi-state cooperating societies, how to trail these transactions. So there are lot of scope, and future is of forensic accounting, I think. So one of the queries is from this panel. I could smell that whether this technology and other updation will be reducing chartered accountants role or accounting profession role. Let me share with you, change is constant. Change is always constant, and in each and every profession there would be changes, there would be updation, but every updation, every change brings new opportunity. Now there is a lot of scope in forensic auditing. Lot of scope is there. But what is needed? There is a lot of scope in security audit. Because nowadays we talk about blockchain. We talk about artificial intelligence. There are so many developers who can develop blockchain system for you. There are many experts who can develop artificial intelligence. They can bring artificial intelligence and blockchain at one platform, develop some application for you. But that there are only, I think, in my best of my knowledge, the chartered accountant is the only person who can do the system audit, who can do the process audit, who can do the security audit. Because blockchain says that this particular transaction is foolproof. But who will ascertain that? That can be ascertained by a chartered accountant. That process audit can be done by chartered accountant. That security audit can be done by chartered accountant. So there are lot of scope with every application, with every updation in the system. There would be lot of scope for further security. So role of chartered accountant, nowadays, I was secretary of committee for members in industry and business 2 years back. And I served there for 2 years, and not less than 60,000 chartered accountant were appeared, newly qualified chartered accountant, and including some lateral placement scheme we also launched, international placement scheme we also launched. And you will surprised to note that nowadays there are more vacancies rather than in accounting, auditing and taxation. There is the chartered accountant is accepted by the world at large. That is a quality brain. So chartered accountant can be absorbed as an analyst, as a financial analyst, as a technical analyst. So our role is day by day is going change, but it is not reducing any technology is not reducing our role. But what is needed, we have to update ourselves. So this is all about this forensic area.
I would like to add.
Yeah, please.
I would like to add. मैं जो बता रहा था ना कि interdisciplinary research important है, वो उसी के लिए. Because if we say that okay, I know accounting, मैं थोड़ा थोड़ा finance पता है, I would stick to accounting, audit, taxation, then it's not a great value addition. If we link it to technology, चाहे तो आपके टीम में आप technology person को ले लो. If we link it to law, if we link it to security audit or IT, तो फिर हमारी value addition बढ़ जाएगी. And also on social side, going for behavioral finance, then that's what actually society and corporate world is looking for. धन्यवाद.
There is one question from one of the researcher. Is there any age limit for PhD?
No. At any age you can do. आपका enthusiasm आपको रखना पड़ेगा.
Yes. At any age, anyone can go for a PhD. But of course, for scholarship, ICI put a ban up to age of 40. That is, let me share with you why we put this ban on 40 years. That the very purpose of bringing out this scholarship scheme is to compensate the opportunity cost of a young chartered accountant who want to pursue this doctorate scheme. So, because after passing the chartered accountancy, and one is not expected to go for further 3 years study or 4 years study and devote his full time without earning a single penny. So, institute, the council, the visionary chairman, C. Anuj Goyal ji, deliberated on all these aspects, and they brought out this scheme that we should provide a scholarship to our brilliant chartered accountants who really want to pursue their career in the research domain. So for that reason, this 50,000 scholarship per month is brought into for the chartered accountants. But as far as the PhD concerned, anyone can go who has 55% marks in post graduation and has qualified pre-PhD or NET JRF can go for PhD. So one, Amit ji, will you ask some question or one of the question is how much a chartered accountant can earn through research and how much time it take to make a research? Bapat sir, you would like answer?
Yes. As I said, बहुत सारे types of research है. If you want to go for a PhD, it can at least take 3 years. If you go for a IIT or IIM, some reputed institute, it can in fact take 4 to 5 years. But सबको डरने की जरूरत नहीं है. You can also do consultancy type of research, which can be 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. बहुत सारे लोग अपने practice में करते भी होंगे. That client has a problem, you address it. It is nothing but a research. Only thing is हम उसको थोड़ा generalize करें. Instead of only solving a problem of one client, you find out a solution, you can serve 50 people or 100 people. So there is a scope for short-term research also. Don't worry that just every research बहुत 5 साल लगना ही लगना है, ऐसा भी नहीं है. It can be short-term, mid-term as well as long-term. Because of IT and technology today, so many things. I mean, if you find a good solution or a good innovation, आप उसको multiply कर सकते हैं. वो research का benefit है. पुराने जमाने में वो नहीं होता था. वही काम 50 लोग 50 जगह पे करते थे. Now you be one of the best, you can earn 50 times. I can't say how much you can earn, but you can give innovation. And if you can give new solutions. धन्यवाद.
Bapat sir, have you finished? So I would like also respond to this query that why one should go for a research. It depends on the money depends on why you have taken a particular study. If you have taken up for PhD, I don't think apart from any scholarship you will get anything else and one degree. But if you go for a study for self-satisfaction, I think self-satisfaction is the only reward. But if you go for a consultancy assignment and inventing something new for a person or an organization, that depends on the value addition you have created. So I think it is as simple as I described. So revenue generation through the research depends on the objective of the research. If it is for academic purpose, if it is for self-satisfaction or for the assignment, and what kind of assignment and what is the paying capacity of that particular client. So there are many other questions. There is a wonderful session. We came to know so many areas which is not explored. Whether this session is recorded and available for viewing again. If so, please let me know. My email ID is this. So dear viewers, the PPTs and with the permission of Bapat sir, we would be sharing the PPTs and we will sharing the link of this recorded video to all of you. One question is, what additional knowledge or qualification or skill do you need to be a system auditor? Sir, a chartered accountant by birth is an auditor and can audit anything. But for a system auditor, I would request you to go for a DISA course. And for system, first you have to understand the system. It is a banking system, then better you go for DISA as well as for concurrent audit. If you are going for a forensic assignment or forensic thing, then you go for a forensic audit. First, you have to learn that system because every system has a peculiar feature. So I think I have responded to your query. In case of ethics-based research, what would be the best research methodology that can be put to use integrated qualitative nature of ethics-based data with quantitative data? In the case of ethics-based research, so I think we have already responded to that query. How reliability can be increased in research area of finance? Sir, one can finish research in a closed room. At the same time, one can spend years in the research. So it is the intention of the researcher, what he or she want to come out from that research. If I correctly understood that question. So I think for ethical research and what methodology should be adopted, let me share with you one example. Our secretariat research committee is coming out with a publication that is very, very pertinent to our members and our fraternity. That because in Chartered Accountant Act Schedule 7 or some of the terminologies are not defined, like mala fide, gross negligence. So we thought that we should interpret, because at research committee secretariat level, we are not entitled or competent enough or authorized to define any particular definition of a particular terminology which is being used in DC cases. But we at the same time decided that based on the various case laws already deliberated by the DC benches, High Court, Supreme Court, NCLT and other bodies. So we picked 10,000 cases. I'm giving you, it may be a longer answer, but I think without describing all these things, you would not understand what I want to convey. Then my secretariat, 4 of we sit together and we thought how we will say. It can be Amit Agarwal's view, that this is mala fide, this is this. How you will say that this is how the reader will digest your views, that this is a unbiased study. So what we did, we took first of all, for any research, one should go for a sample size. Our universe, we decided that 10 years cases of DC, 10-year cases of Supreme Court, 10-year cases of High Court, 10 years of cases NCLT, and then we picked all 10,000 cases. Then we use sample statistical tool for sampling. Then we go for sampling. Then again a question arises, which team out of 10,000, which 1,000 question is cases is to be picked up. So what we did, we marked all 10,000 question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 10,000 in Excel. And then what we did random sampling. So it is up to the researcher how much one want to be honest or unbiased. There are some statistical tools. Those who are interested in these things, we will be coming out with a training program. We have already conducted 2 research programs on research methodology, 5 days training program, and wherein we would be teaching what are the sampling, sample size selection tools, what are the analysis tool, how the hypothesis is tested, which test is used for what purpose. So based on that, one can decide these aspects. So another question is, Bapat sir, it is for you. Just a minute. It's gone. Just a minute, sir. Sorry. I was advised to use 7 Likert point scale beside for factor which are already decided by the SC and SC tribunals and decision announced. I take that a final research paper and use the variable therein, otherwise I will have to take other research paper. I was advised to do a EFA and then a CFA. But when variables are known, I feel I can straight go for CFA and then for SEM modeling. Is my approach correct? I have go a confirmation from one PhD holder, but need validation since it is a taxation area and my topic is in direct taxation. Bapat sir?
I think your approach is correct, but I mean, you can send me an email because I will have to check the scenario before giving a confirmed opinion. And based on you can write an email to me, and I would like to respond to you. Thank you.
Sir,
but overall, your approach appears logical.
Yeah, I echo with your views. So one question is, could you kindly mention in brief the starting point of a CA to go for PhD? Can we directly seek for PhD admission in a reputed institute, say IIT Bombay? I am sorry if I missed is due to connectivity issue.
In the beginning, as I said, IIT Bombay recognizes, in fact, it promotes CA to join PhD, and many of the IITs and IIMs are allowing CAs to participate in their admission process. Of course, there is an admission test and other things. Until recently, CA was not recognized as a postgraduate qualification. So CA had to do either MCOM or MBA to be eligible for doing a PhD in many of the universities. So you will have to check with your university. Although recently UGC has come out with a circular saying that CA is on par with a master's degree. So, but कई बार universities को मालूम नहीं होगा, तो maybe we have to take it up and get it done. But on the whole, I feel yes, CA can go ahead. आपका purpose क्या है देखिए, and accordingly you choose the institution or the university or a college where you want to do PhD. धन्यवाद.
Bapat sir, next question is, throw some light on Sodh Ganga and Sodh Gangatri.
Government of India ने ये initiatives लिए हैं, and we know that वही research कई universities में अलग-अलग जगह पे किया जाता है. There is no great value addition. So Sodh Ganga tries to bring in all the research at वो काफी useful होगा both these projects. धन्यवाद.
Yeah, there are a lot of queries, but time is a constraint with us. We have already reached on scheduled time. So some of the queries left out, and I would be personally try my level best to respond to each query over email. And unfortunately, chairman has to left the meeting in between because his one of the closest friend's father passed away. So chairman has to left the meeting in between. So now I request CA Amit Ji, Secretary, Ratlam branch of CRC of ICI.
Just a second.
Yes, please.
Just one small thing. I have shared my PPT with the organizers. So I would request them to share.
Yeah, we will be sharing. So CA Amit Ji
with the
Secretary
participants so that you can please feel free to contact me. Yeah, please go ahead.
So now I request CA Amit Ji, Secretary, Ratlam branch of CRC of ICI, to express his formal vote of thanks on behalf of both the hosting branch and research committee. Over to CA Amit.
Sir, actually, sir had to leave meeting due to some professional assignment.
Then I take this opportunity to thank today's learned speaker, Dr. Bapat, our own member of the fraternity, who did his PhD from IIT Bombay, and he enlightened us on very, very informative topic. We have the presence of torchbearer and leadership of both branches, Ratlam and Ujjain. So we are very, very thankful for both the chairman, both vice chairman, and whole managing committee secretary, and all other office bearers, Ritesh Nagori ji, Arpit Sharma ji, Kamini ma'am, and Neeraj Jain sir, Ankit ji, Arpit Jain ji, and Ruchin Agrawal ji, and Dipendra sir, chairman Ratlam branch. So we are very thankful that both hosting branches did a great job. We could get more than 4,000 viewers in this today's VCM on very, very important topic. And I got one good query from one of through this webinar. It is an opportunity for all of us to interact each other, and I hope in future also we would be connecting on similar topics. And I'm really, from core of my heart, I'm very thankful to the hosting branch, learned speaker, in absentia, my chairman, C. Anuj Goyal ji, and Pramod Bhoop sir, who has given us an opportunity to interact on such a wider platform. And with these words, I take leave for the day. And thank you to the viewers who patiently given a lot of time to this deliberation. Without their active support, it could not be possible to have such a wonderful deliberation. Over to all the office bearers with accepting my heartiest thanks. Thank you.